Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Addison, whatever time you're listening, and thank you for joining us for our ASD Chat for All podcast. We have lots of fun and exciting things on the horizon for Addison School District 4, and this podcast allows us the opportunity to connect with our parents and guardians, families, and community to celebrate our students, their accomplishments, and so much more. Your hosts for this podcast are ASD4 Superintendent Dr. Nick Sutton and myself, Dean Constantopoulos. You interested in hearing more about what's going on in District 4? Come on in and have a chat. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us again for another episode of our ASD Chat for All podcast. My name is Dean Constantopoulos. I'll be one of your hosts today, and I'm here with my co-host, Dr. Nick Sutton. Nick, it's Thursday, the weekend's coming up. You got any fun plans coming up?
A whole lot of typical weekend stuff for somebody that has 4 kids. Lots of little events, but the weather's supposed to be nice, so it's going to be good. What about Mr. Dean? What does he do on the weekends? Do you just research podcasts?
Yeah, when I'm not researching podcasts, I'm going to take advantage of the good weather too. I'll probably take my dog Zuli out to the dog park. It's going to be great.
That sounds like fun, and we can just hope for another Vikings win. We can hope for another Packers loss.
That's okay.
We talked about that. So, it's fun. It's fun visiting. It's fun getting to know people in the community and the district. So we got somebody that we're going to visit with today. So we're joined here by Dr. Lohse.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, we love it. So Dean and I, we know who you are.
Yes.
Who are you? What do you do? What do you do all day? And how long have you been a part of the district?
So I am the Assistant Superintendent for Administrative Services. I have worked in the district for 12 years. I have been a principal. I've worked with the technology department, and this is my most current role. All day, I support principals and buildings and employees. I am responsible for recruiting and hiring all of our amazing staff in the district. And I help everybody problem solve and work with employees who need some special supports.
Oh, awesome. So anytime any employee has a question about, more technical stuff, their position here, if they want to make any changes, that sort of stuff, you're the person to go to. You're the go-to person.
Absolutely. I'm happy to help with any of that. I get a lot of questions about tuition reimbursement and educational advancement for those of you who are interested in getting your master's or taking some college courses. Give me a holler. I can walk you through that.
Oh, awesome. So there is opportunity then if you want to pursue further in your education?
For our licensed staff, yes, part of our negotiated agreement does allow for 9 hours of tuition reimbursement at $125 a credit hour.
Oh, awesome.
And there are also advancement increases when they hit certain benchmarks.
Very cool. So keep that in mind, everyone listening, if you're looking to increase your knowledge a little bit.
Well said.
So you kind of mentioned this a little bit a second ago, but you've had a lot of positions here at the district. You've kind of made your way around to the different schools. You've seen the different school atmospheres, and that has got to be really beneficial to your position now because you've gotten a lot of experience and you've kind of seen the lay of the land from many different levels, right? So tell me a little bit about how those experiences have kind of shaped you, and is there anything from those previous positions that you take with you into this current position that kind of helps you that you may not have thought about if you weren't in a principal position or working with technology?
That's a really great question, Dean. I will tell you that I think the one thing that I have taken with me and that keeps me in this district is working in the different buildings and working now with all of the buildings in my current position. I've had the opportunity to meet the majority of our staff in the district, and I'm always just so impressed with how hardworking they are, how supportive of our families they are, and how student-focused they are. I feel very encouraged, and it makes me want to come back every day to work here with all of them and to support them in this role.
Yeah. And honestly, I know I've mentioned that to a few people around the office, but I feel that generally as well. Like the culture here, it's very warm, it's very welcoming, and that's thanks to folks like you all that kind of, it has to come from somewhere, right? So it definitely does trickle down here is how I feel. So thank you.
even though Nick's a Vikings fan.
Oh,
well, we
nice.
don't bring that up. We don't talk about it outside of the podcast. You know?
Okay.
I think this next question is purposeful, but it's also, I think it's just so relevant, whether or not this is a staff member listening or a parent or community member out there listening to this episode. Since the pandemic, there's so many companies, businesses, and even school districts that are struggling so hard to find enough staff and to hire everybody that they want to. And unfortunately, Addison's no different. And I think that's so relevant. So how has the staff shortage impacted us, our district, and what sort of positions are we looking for right now? I think it's just important to be transparent.
Absolutely.
We're struggling as well, everybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I would say one of the biggest areas of need is our substitute teachers. We unfortunately had a massive shortage when COVID hit, and so we are looking for substitutes all the time. If it's something you're interested in, you can contact me directly, and I can give you information on how to get your certification through ISB. Also, paraeducators. We've hired a lot of paraeducators this year. The Illinois State Board of Ed released a short-term certification opportunity for people. All we need is a high school degree or equivalent now to obtain a professional educator license as a paraeducator. And our paraeducators, again, work to support students' individual needs and with small groups of students and support what the classroom teacher is doing. It's an incredibly rewarding job. We actually did a little video a couple weeks ago. If you haven't had a chance, check it out on our social media to get a better sense of what paras do and the difference they make every day. But we'd invite anybody to apply for those jobs. From a licensed staff standpoint, the shortage has hit us, especially in the related service and special ed area. We are looking for school psychologists. This is not just unique to our district. This is actually a pretty significant shortage.
Great point to make.
Across, I would say, probably nationally.
Gotcha.
Certified school nurses and just nurses actually that work within our buildings as well. We are finding it very difficult to fill those positions, and we do need nurses to support students with individual medical needs within the building. And so if you are a nurse and you're looking to work school hours or the same hours as your child, again, don't hesitate to apply for a position. We do have a couple of openings across the district. And then we have 2 special ed positions. And again, that's not unique to our district. There seems to be a shortage of people getting that certification. And so we've had a couple of people express interest in obtaining their LBS-1, which is the state licensure required for that. And so, again, if that's something, if you're a current license holder and you're interested in adding another endorsement, we can assist you in finding a program or helping you to fulfill that as well.
Oh, that's perfect. So it sounds like, from what you're saying, that there are a lot of opportunities to not only find a position here at the district, but if you want to change a position, if you're looking to follow your passions, if you're one kind of teacher, but you really feel that passion for special ed, we will support you in getting that certification. And then just to go back a little bit of what you had said before about how the licensure requirements had changed to be a para, is that a recent change, or it must mean that the requirements beforehand were a little more strict?
Yes, they are actually. So to get your PEL as a paraeducator, you still need to have some college coursework or pass the work keys test. Now there's a short-term certification that is valid for 3 years that anybody with a high school degree or equivalent can obtain and then work towards their professional educator license. That's
awesome.
A non-renewable license, but it has allowed some of our staff to become full-time employees within the district as they work towards obtaining that licensure.
Gotcha. So it's like a much easier way to put your foot in the door of getting into schools.
Absolutely. And I will actually even take that a little bit further. Another area, I think that we, especially in our district, we're looking for Spanish speakers in all of the positions. And we know that there's untapped resources in this district. And I've even spoken to some of our paras who are interested in returning to school to get their teaching certification. And I can encourage all of you in the community, hopefully, if that's something you're interested in, there is a need for Spanish-speaking personnel in schools at many different levels.
Awesome. So I want to go back really quick to talk about that para video. So if anybody hasn't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. the paraprofessionals at our school do so much, and it's not just them. It's all of the staff here do so much for our kids, do so much for our community. So just to kind of piggyback off of that idea, what would you say are some of the biggest reasons of why someone should join this ASD4 family? But not only that, but what do you think for the people that have been here for so long, what do you think keeps them here?
Working with kids. I always say it feeds my soul when I go into the schools and I see kids, even just talking to them for a few minutes. They bring just a different perspective and such joy. And no matter what position you're in within a school, watching kids grow and learn every day and make connections between what they're learning, or watching them play, or be kind to another student, or take someone under their wing, all of it's really rewarding. And it's what I love most about education. It's actually what I miss most about being a principal, if I had to really say. Working with adults is very different.
Right, of course.
Oh, I love it. So if anybody out there, especially if they're curious about learning more about, wow, maybe there is a staff employment opportunity that is kind of intriguing to me, or if they just want to talk about why Addison's so great, what is the easiest way to reach out to you?
Oh, you can email me, klose@asd4.org, or you can call me. If you call the 630-458-2430 is my direct line. I'm happy to assist anybody with any questions.
That sounds great. So, Dean, if anybody wants to talk about weekend plans, why Addison's so great, or anything that we talked about today, what's the easiest way to reach out to you?
Best way to reach out to me, that's going to be through Twitter, @AddisonSD4. Now, Nick, got to ask you the same thing.
Anything and everything Addison, and I love lurking around Twitter. Dr. Nick Sutton is an easy way to reach out to me.
Awesome. Well, Kim, thank you so much for joining us today. A pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.
And for everyone listening, stay tuned for next time. Thank you for tuning in to our ASD Chat for All podcast. Check us out at www.asd4.org, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts for more. We'll be back soon with another episode, so stay tuned.